All right, Tristan, let's talk MVPs. I find it kind of funny that both of our MVPs are out of the AFC, and they're none other than quarterbacks because nobody else really wins this award. I'll go ahead and give you mine. Mine's going to be C.J. Stroud for the Texans. I think he's got the weapons around him to pull him forward and stand him out amongst all the quarterbacks this year to be that number one guy and the most valuable player on his team.
I like it. Definitely one of the favorites in the odds. I'm with you, MVP. You know it's going to be a quarterback. If it wasn't a non-quarterback last year, when there really wasn't a elite quarterback play, then it's never not going to be a quarterback in our era. So that's just the way it is. Picking MVP is my least favorite. I don't have a strong conviction on it. I'm going Joe Burrow just because I don't want to pick Mahomes. I think Stroud's going to take a bit of a step back, not because of him. I just think defenses are going to be game planning against him. So I'm going to go with Joe Burrow on the revenge tour. If the Bengals win that division like I think they will, then he should be the MVP of the league. And I think he announces his presence, reaffirms his presence as long as he's healthy.
Joe Blondie Burrow, baby. Let's go. All right, Tristan, let's talk Super Bowls now. I know that's one of your favorite picks to make. And let's just pull up our record. 3 years ago, I nailed the Super Bowl perfectly. The year after that, you nailed it perfectly. Last year, we sucked. That's a mulligan. We're not going to count that because it's our show and we don't have to.
So far off.
This year, I am going to go a little out of the box, and I'm going to go on emotions, and I'm going to pick the Ravens versus the Lions. Give me the Lions to win the Super Bowl. I think Dan Campbell has what it takes with Jared Goff and this awesome team. I think they're going to go all the way. It's a Cinderella story all the way to the finish line. I'm riding that train all day long. Let's go Lions.
I think that'll be popular. I think people are on the Lions. I like the Lions as well. 2 questions for you regarding your pick. 1, any concern about the Lions making it to the NFC Championship game and losing, having to climb back, or do you think they're just talented enough to do it?
Yeah, that's always a fear, right? But, they're my 2 seed. I think that they have a really good shot at, obviously in the NFC, who would you pick them going up against, realistically?
Right. I agree. I could see them in the Packers, 49ers,
I would imagine
Rams.
I would imagine the 49ers. And I know that's going to be, they're my 1 seed, right? So that's going to be a hard mountain to climb to get past the 49ers. But I feel like the Lions just have it in them this year. I don't know why. That's just how I feel. And that's what I'm going with.
Hey, they had him on the ropes last year. I find it interesting, too. You think Lamar can finally get over the hump. That's what he needs. That's the only thing he's lacking in his repertoire. If he can have a deep playoff run, a Super Bowl appearance, he's probably a lock Hall of Famer, honestly.
But now he's got Derrick Henry to hand the ball off to. So I think the rushing game has been one of the weak links of the Ravens over the past
especially
2 to 3
in the playoffs.
Years. Yeah, for sure. So I think this really changes the game.
All right, I like it. Time for mine. So I really debated about this during the week because I didn't want to do it. I was thinking, do I want to do something that's off ball and entertaining and just try to be more surprising, or do I want to come up here and tell you what I genuinely believe? And the audience knows I only lie to them about 90% of the time. Right. So I'm telling the truth here. I'm just going with my gut and telling you what I really think is going to happen. I've got the Kansas City Chiefs defeating the Green Bay Packers.
Repeat, baby.
That's right. I think Patrick Mahomes wants to separate himself from Tom Brady. It's going to be hard for him to win 7 Super Bowls, but if he can do something that's never been done in the modern era, if he can win 3 straight Super Bowls, that really pushes him into a precipice of greatness that, he's already ascended to, but it's another level. And the other thing for me is I don't see a lot of teams that are really stout competition for them. Obviously, it's football. It's not like NBA where you play 7 games. The ball has to bounce right for you. I just think the team's better than last year. Last year was the year to get them. Give me the Chiefs. As far as the NFC, I obviously am riding high on Jordan Love and the Packers. I think they were close last year, but just the youth, the inexperience kind of bit them late in that 49ers game. One more year in the Matt LaFleur system, one more year being comfortable. I think that's enough to get them there. They have a good run, a good shot, but they run into the big bad bully Mahomes at the end of the day.
Yeah, so Kansas City is your 1 seed in the AFC. Green Bay is your 1 seed in the NFC. Look, when you look at both of these teams side by side, they stack up pretty fair. But what I'm worried about is Kansas City going to be able to run the gauntlet in the AFC? According to your standings, they are. But are you more concerned about Kansas City running that gauntlet or Green Bay running theirs?
That's actually a great question. I'm more concerned about Green Bay running theirs.
Yeah, I would be too.
I've seen Mahomes.
Because they don't have Patrick Mahomes.
Right. Mahomes, his worst year since he's been in the league is an overtime AFC championship loss that me and you were at. That game we were at, that is the worst season he's had. That's crazy.
That's just because you came to the game and gave him bad luck.
That's why I don't go to AFC championships anymore.
First game we ever went to.
Yep.
And it was the worst game we've been to since.
We stick to regular season. But no, I think the NFC is more competitive. Not that the AFC is not competitive. I just feel like it's going to be hard to take down Mahomes. A healthy Burrow could do it. Josh Allen could do it if he puts on a spectacular game. I'm worried about the weapons, but I'm going to go with Mahomes to beat Jordan Love in the Super Bowl. Those are our 2024 NFL predictions, and we will be back at the end of the year to see how right or more than likely wrong we were.